This Coke Zero Sugar DFS edition of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by our Patreon. Score exclusive perks and contests, including our NFL win totals competition, which is a $1,000 prize to the winner. Join today at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. We're also brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app to get last-minute tickets at the lowest price guaranteed. Use promo code SGPN for $20 off. We're also brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the app now and use code SGP. New customers are going to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet $5 on any college football bet. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook with code SGP.
Driver, start your engine!
Strap in and pull those belts up tight as the Sports Gambling Podcast Network presents the NASCAR Gambling Podcast.
I'll wreck my mom to win a championship. I'll wreck your mom to win a championship.
With all the news and the best bets for your NASCAR weekend.
It refrains me from not beating the out of you right now because you ask me stupid questions. But since I'm on probation, I suppose that's improper to say as well. If you could talk about racing things, we could talk about racing things.
Now, here are your hosts, Rod Villagomez and Cody Zeeb.
Yes, it's Friday night. We are live. It's the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. He, as always, is Cody Zeeb. I am Rod Villagomez. Right, Cape? No, I am not building a house. I know it looks like I'm building a house from what it looks like back here behind me. No, again, I am still away on location with the Army. I'm on my Army weekend, but I could not pass up the opportunity to go live on this Friday night to react to this Xfinity race and to build a DFS lineup with Cody and the rest of you guys. This is what we live for, dude. Cody said he doesn't sleep, he only sports. So it's the truth, right?
Oh, Rod, we just had a race end at Daytona, 0.005 seconds.
Oh my
win.
God.
What a fucking finish. What am I wearing? I don't know, Rye. I don't know why I'm wearing this.
Is that a Yankee shirt? I didn't even pay attention.
I don't pay attention to baseball until September, so don't tell me how the season's going because I don't want to hear about it. JDK said we clearly know that Creed would not wreck his mom to win a race. How much money does Sheldon offer to Dale Jr. in the offseason to get the number 1 car instead of the number 2 car? I don't know if that has something to do with it, but boy, it's been rough. And Ty Tiger, we're live on a Friday night. That's right.
Damn right we are.
Live recapping Xfinity, drinking beer. Yes. And we're going to build some DFS lineups too.
I just finished mine. Unfortunately, my red Solo Cup is not by my side because I finished it during the race. I needed it. And full disclosure, everybody, I watched stage 3. And honestly, that was the race. I did not need to watch anything more than stage 3 to get a gist of everything that was going on. I was on duty right up until the point where stage 3 started. I had my pizza, I had my beer, and I was ready to go as soon as I was done. So, I really honestly watched the most important part of that race, which was stage 3, which was where all the action happened. Obviously, we're going to break it all down with you guys as far as our bets were concerned, which, spoiler alert, as we warned you in the show, not very many of them hit, but the ones that did were actually pretty good ones that we managed to hit. So I know I was following along with you guys in the Discord too. Sorry, like I said, commenting is so difficult sometimes when I'm trying to do about 15 different things at once. I'll think it to you guys. I'll answer in my head, but it never makes it down on paper. But just know I'm with you guys in spirit. But yeah, that third stage, guys, that is what super speedway racing is all about.
I fixed the shirt, Rod. It's now a Corey LaJoy shirt. Lock in DFS this weekend. So
I love it. Hey, listen, for full disclosure too. So I told you guys that I'm in this room, right? And you guys can hear the echo. You've heard it in the other 2 episodes, right? My commander is actually, he sleeps in the room that's across the hall. Turns out I found out that he thought somebody was on the phone for hours on end, moved rooms because of my show. So you guys helped me move my commander to a completely different room because of the show. I just want you to know I love you guys for that.
Tell him to listen to the podcast next time.
He knows where it's at. I mean, he's not a NASCAR fan, but I should tell him, listen, this is what it was, sir. Your sacrifice.
Be a NASCAR fan to like winning money.
I'm telling you, it was a lot of fun. But listen, that race was a lot of fun to watch that. I will definitely watch the first 2 because I want to see how the whole race shaped up. But knowing that I came in and probably the most important part of it was the best. But Cody, I mean, overall, it was what we expected out of Daytona. I mean, it was. We talked about Xfinity being sort of tame in the beginning, and then all hell will break loose at the end, right?
Yeah, it was textbook Daytona. Like, that's exactly. This is why we tell you, take it a little bit easy, make crazy, take a long shot top Toyota who finishes 26th and still cashes as the top Toyota bet. Like, literally, these are the things we said. That was the handicap of that bet, and we'll get to it here in a minute, but that was it. Like, just you make these crazy bets because crazy shit happens, and that's how it goes. And so exciting on every single lap. Like, you're on the edge of your seat. There's guys, how they don't wreck sometimes is more impressive than how the wrecks happen. Like the saves they make. There was one early where Austin Hill was all up Sammy Smith's ass, and so squirrely, and Hill backed out of it, and nobody else hit him, and Smith somehow saved. Like, would have wrecked the entire field. Obviously, we got the big wrecks. The big wrecks at the end were crazy, and they changed everything. And you thought this was intense. Now let's make it a cutoff race in the Cup Series on a Saturday night under the lights. I mean, you thought this was intense, Rod. I don't know if we've seen anything from what this weekend is going to be. Tomorrow is going to be even more like this, and I'm freaking excited for it.
Oh, well, and Rye's right. At the end of the show, I should jump off the scaffolding onto the table. He's
not a Bills fan.
Bray Wyatt, man, rest in peace. That's a little shout out WWE style. I could jump through a table like that. But no, here's the thing too. And when I was telling Cody before we got on live that I ended up watching the race with a friend of mine. I don't normally get to watch races with anybody that really cares much. I mean, my wife passes by and goes, "Oh, look, somebody's in the lead." But I mean, it's not as if, it's always a thing. But like, I was watching with my buddy who knows a little something about Daytona. He knows, or NASCAR in general, knows the history, hasn't really kept up as much as obviously we have, but just watching it and go and living that last one, it was like, oh my God, look at he spun out. Oh my God, look at he's gone. I was like, this is why I watch this sport, because this is how much fun somebody's having watching a race. I had a beer and a pizza and I was watching. It was this was a lot of fun.
God, just living the dream over there, Rod. Switch says feels bad for Riley Herbst. Yeah, if you missed the beginning of the race, I mean, like lap 2, Riley Herbst had problems again, issues. I think he ended up, I don't know where he ended up finishing. I think he ended up having a pretty decent finish, just because obviously so many cars wrecked, and they kept it out there, but he was just
sixth place, by the way. Cody, 6th place.
6th place? No way. Did he really?
Yeah.
No, that's Ryan C.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Shit. That's where they're starting
yeah,
now. That's where they're starting tomorrow.
Don't remind me of
24th.
But still, I mean,
24th.
For as bad as things looked, like 24th, not a bad finish for him. But yeah, rough time for Riley Herbst. They've just been having so many issues as they're trying to chase this title. And then Rye said Daytona season finale going to be epic. Shout out to Rye too. I was on with Justin and Miranda for a little bit earlier before our auction draft we had tonight. They were live on YouTube as well. Rye jumped on there and was saying hello. So that was awesome. Good to see you there, and good to see you here as well. But man, yeah, we're in for a good one tomorrow. It's gonna be insane.
It will be insane. And we'll talk about that race and how it shaped out and how our bets shaped out. But first, let's tell you about Gametime. You want tickets for an upcoming race? Don't worry about planning ahead of time. No. Gametime has got you covered on those last minute deals. So you, like me, can procrastinate on everything you do. It's a way of life, guys. Procrastination. You get rewarded for procrastination through Gametime. Where else in life do you get rewarded for procrastination? It doesn't happen very often. Gametime has got all the flash deals, all the last minute savings that you could possibly want on any of your sports, theater. Whatever they sell tickets to, you can wait till the last minute to buy it because you know you're going to get the best price guaranteed with Gametime. Not just that, but maybe you've never been to a venue before and you're thinking to yourself, but is the view going to be worth it from the seat that I'm getting at? Don't question that anymore. Gametime will send you a picture of what you're looking at when you're sitting in the seat that you're about to purchase. I don't know too many other places that you can find that sort of confirmation as far as what I'm going to be seeing when I sit in those seats. So stop stressing over waiting till the last minute to buy your ticket. Start getting now all the best deals on your last minute ticket prices. Snag those tickets without stress with Gametime. Download the Gametime app now, create an account, use code SGPN. You're going to get $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem the code SGPN for $20 off. Download Gametime app today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. Another guarantee is that Cody's got 15 tabs open right now, and all of them have underdog fantasy drafts going on. You too can join in on that fun. August is almost over. This is why Cody's lagging all the underdog fantasy drafts that you got going on. Time's running out for you to draft your fantasy football teams too on Underdog Fantasy. Get championship ready for your home league by trying out best ball on Underdog Fantasy. All you do is one live snake draft. No waivers, no trades. You set it, forget it. Underdog does the rest. Try it out with Underdog's Best Ball Mania Tournament. It's the largest fantasy football contest of all times. $15 million in total prizes up for grabs, including an absurd $3 million going to the winner. I already know you have what it takes to win it all, so I'm not even going to try to ask you that question. Time is now. Draft your fantasy football team by September the 7th. Visit UnderdogFantasy.com. Find them in the App Store and sign up with promo code SGPN. Get your first deposit doubled up to $100. That's UnderdogFantasy.com. Promo code SGPN. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. I'm not concerned with our play as far as this last super speedway. Again, we told everybody, just expect the worst. And fortunately for us, we hit a couple of good ones, but the worst happened to a lot of our bets.
Yeah, I mean, that's why you build it this way. That's why you go for a lot of long shots. We hit 2 longer shots. We missed on most of them. That's basically what you expect. Lynn Newton said, last stage was so freaking exciting. I can't wait for tomorrow. Couldn't agree more. Definitely fun when you just throw a couple of darts and watch for the pure thrill of the race. And basically exactly what we said to do. Throw some darts, play, and just sit back and watch it. And God, what a good freaking race it was. We started out, Rod. I had Sam Mayer, top Chevrolet, plus 1,200. He was actually in this one, all the way up until I think he was in that last final wreck there. And got taken out in that one. Had Connor, I won't say his last name, top Toyota, plus 1,200. He's now officially dead to me. He wrecked out.
Do I have to beep him out too?
Yeah,
where's my beeping?
Beep on lap 2, I think. So that was stupid, but did throw in, which I'm glad they actually moved the number. If you remember, he was like 20-1. I was only going to play him. They moved it. We added Gralla plus 850. That panned out. The analysis was simple on this. There's only 5 Toyotas in the field. You're getting a large group. You pick 2 of the guys at the bottom with the longest odds. I said they could finish 30th and potentially win this. Well, he finished 20th and was the top Toyota by 1 spot over Sammy Smith. Like, he was the only Toyota still running at the end of the race, basically. Cashes this bet. So plus 850, a nice hit for Gralla. Derek I know Derek had given that out as well. So shout out.
Let's
to
go,
Derek
boys.
on the Grala top Toyota bet, because that was a good one.
Yeah, and again, it's like you said too. Everything panned out exactly the way we thought it was going to, and it's not as if we're some Nostradamuses. We're dumbasses. We're not some Nostradamuses. it's not as
luck.
if it's pure absolute luck on super speedways. We know this
calculated luck, because, like we said, that you're making it a big group. There's only 5 Toyotas. I mean, you do just throw darts, but you throw educated darts, and sometimes they hit, and that was the case here. As with yours, Rod, which, before you get into it, I want to remind everyone, we literally laid out the reason to not take this driver as the outright winner in this race and cashed a bigger ticket than being the outright winner, even though he was the outright winner, by betting this bet.
I mean, you could have doubled up if you would have put him as an outright winner, but also, again, it was more risky, as we saw, because Sheldon Creed could have very well easily edged him out, which would have taken him out of this bet, of course. But I mean, who knows? A Ford could have found their way up to the front too. But Justin Allgaier as the top Chevy, 9-1. I almost feel bad, Cody, because we're giving the 2 that cashed out at the beginning. Everything else didn't pan out after that.
And that's it. On to DFS.
And that's it. So we'll start picking some DFS drivers. No, listen, but for Justin Allgaier, I mean, we completely exactly said it. We were like, there would be more of a chance for him to finish as the top Chevy than there was to win. Now, obviously, we were wrong because he ended up winning, but he was the top Chevy in that aspect. And it's funny because as I was watching with my buddy, I was like, oh man, I've got Justin Allgaier to be the top Chevy. He goes, they're all Chevys. Because the first 8 drivers were Chevys.
Yeah, 10 of the top 12. I mean, if you want to go farther, 14 of the top 17, all shit. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Chevrolets, but
yeah. But it's crazy because for Justin Allgaier, it's exactly as we said. He managed to find his way out of all of the chaos that was surrounding him. There was so much stuff happening in the front of the field, and over those last couple of restarts, he just happened to be in the front row for, I think, both of those. At the end of the race, he was in the front row for both, and all the stuff happened behind him. So he managed to stay out of the trouble enough. And then, God bless Sheldon Creed. And for once, Cody, we had a post-race interview that he didn't look like a whoop puppy dog. He looked sad, but he definitely had a little more of a positive outreach or outlook than the last few races. But I felt bad for Creed.
You feel bad, but at the same time, why do you not door Allmendinger or Allgaier there at the end? Why do you not door him? Why don't you try? I mean, I know it was close. I know he was almost there, but I just feel like he doesn't try hard enough. I don't know.
Well, listen, what I feel like though, I feel like he got away from him for a second, because if you watch the car, it wiggled.
Yeah, he did. He did wiggle for sure, which I think was just the air, and then he got right back there. But I mean, the whole time it was setting up, and knowing that was it number 11? Yeah, not allowed to say his name. Number 11 was told on his radio, or was it? No.
It was Creed
that was told not to help Kligerman, right?
Yep.
That's what it was. Yeah. And so, that I think kind of got him behind at first anyways, because he got a big run, starts pushing Kligerman, and then you could tell he lifted because he's like, oh shit, I can't do this. And then he had to find this different way to get up there. He left it. Allgaier played it perfectly. But shout out to you, top Chevrolet. We said it doesn't matter. I tweeted it out. Doesn't matter. This changes none of the bets. Especially once you have that big group, there's 6 guys that do pass-throughs. So they're all going to come out and draft together. They never went a lap down. And the 48 couldn't help Creed either. So, I mean, there was, and look, we said that also during this week, there's going to be games played. There's going to be race manipulation because these guys don't want to help certain drivers. And you're going to see that maybe even more magnified tomorrow, because there's a lot more teammate scenarios tomorrow. It is going to be very obvious who is not going to work with other people, who is going to line up purposely behind people to not work with them. It will come into play throughout that race. So it's
And so it's funny too, because we talked about a lot with Austin Hill. No one's gonna help Austin Hill, and Austin Hill was up there for the most part, and nobody was really helping him, but he was there, and nobody could not help him. That was kind of the point. He was always in the
throughout
area.
The race. If you stick with him, you're probably going to be up front, but he got shuffled out because they're going to shuffle him out. Nobody's going to help him. That's why you don't bet somebody at +2 whatever to win the race, because it's not a good idea.
It's a trap. But you know what else is not a trap? Let's knock this out. We'll keep going over our bets. It's DraftKings. You've waited all year. The time's finally arrived. College football is back. So are the traditions, the tailgates, and the great offers from DraftKings Sportsbook. Right now, new customers can score $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5 on any college football bet. We know week 0 is upon us, right? It is Navy. It is Notre Dame. It is a rivalry as old as, well, however the rivalry is. I don't care. But look up your favorite odds over there on DraftKings. They've got them all for you. Plus, make it a little interesting for yourself. I know Notre Dame's a heavy favorite, but no, Navy can't make it close. But make it easy. Make it easy.
Go Navy.
Just make it easy for yourself. Find some good bets that you like over there. DraftKings always offers great odds for you. So kick off the season with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the app now. Use code SGP. Oh, I'm still Navy. New customers can score $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5 I'm so glad my screen is small. I can't see it. When you bet just $5 on any college football bet, only on DraftKings Sportsbook with code SGP. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.com. sportsbook.draftkings.com/football terms. If you have not already, man, this SGPN Patreon is jumping off. So many people jumping in right now. Be one of those. Make sure you sign up right now. You get exclusive access to contests, which include our NFL Totals Win contest. You got $1,000 first place prize for that. Plus, and maybe more importantly, the guys just recorded their first Sports Gambling Podcast Stories podcast just for the patrons, chronicling the birth of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. I am back, even though I explained to the listeners how a podcast is born. Apparently that was still FCC worthy, so I'm still on the air. Plus, there's a Discord channel just for you patrons. Sports Gambling Podcast has and always will give out their picks for free. This Patreon is really just a great way to support the network and, as always, fight back against corporate gambling. Find it all right now at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. Almost thought for a second you were going to have to find a new co-host, Cody. But unfortunately, the bosses either don't listen to us or let it slide.
I think could be a combination of both, but either way, it works.
I love it.
All right, Rod. Next up, we were so close to hitting both. I mean, really both of these. I had Kyle Sieg top forward 20-1, Ryan Sieg +600. It was we almost swept all three top manufacturers. What a day that would have been. These are top manufacturer is the way to go on super speedways. And Cole Custer finishes 5th in a Ford. Ryan Sieg in 6th, 1 spot behind him. And then Kyle, not far behind them, in 13th was the next Ford. Everyone else pretty much had gotten wiped out. I mean, Moffitt was still running at the end at 18th, but he was involved pretty heavily in one of those earlier wrecks. Like, one more spot for Sieg. If Custer would have got out of the way, would have cashed the 600. And then Kyle was right there if both those guys had gotten taken out. Again, you end up with 14 Chevys in the top 17 is what it was. And yeah, so close to cashing this one. That would have been nice, but not to be.
And honestly, too, they were all running. Again, Sieg and them were running outside of even the top 15. Come on, BJ McLeod, turn my dollar into 900.
Hey, for real.
Thank you.
He's got two straight top 10s in this Daytona race. So you never know.
You want to talk about praying for chaos? That is exactly what you're praying for right there.
Hey, it's happened. It's happened twice. He's been right there. So
it's true. Yeah, but I mean, again, for your Sieg bets, I mean, Sieg finished 7th, and that was better than what he should have finished, especially with those top front runners coming and knocking each other out. So yeah, it just goes to show how absolutely close you could be on these, and I like it. You want to talk about close, Cody? Sammy Smith, top 5. That dude was right there in the mix
all day. He was up there all day. Yep.
Unfortunately, that was it, the second to last one. I think it was the second to last one that collected him in that one. The one where everybody in the front just sort of took each other out, and
yeah,
that was it.
he was part of getting hit there at the beginning. I mean, that happened the second row from it really happened with the leaders because 19 was on the front row and during that restart. I thought it was
Trevor
funny.
Bayne is dead to me, by the way. I just want to go on record as saying that.
Oh, and Bayne, he's like, well, he is locked on my bumper, and then he turned right, and then they show the replay right after, and it literally like Austin Hill goes up, and then 19 goes up right in front of him, and it's like, did you see the replay? Because I don't think that's what happened. Like,
I want to see the SMT data on that. I want to see the SMT data on that.
He was not locked on his bumper. He went to pass him, and Bayne blocked way too late, and it wrecked the whole field. But
he was locked on my bumper. No. 80 says Junior lost 3 cars, but the summer brought it all home. That's true. That's
Junior's had some expensive super speedways lately. This one's expensive too, but I think he'll pay that bill if he's got the winning car at the end of the day. So I think he's going to be pretty happy about having that 7 car in victory lane at one of his favorite tracks for sure. I had Brandon Jones, one of those JRM cars, top 3 at plus 550. I mean, he was caught up in it early. He was in that first wreck, I think. Ends up finishing 36. He was wrong place, wrong time. That's how it goes. We didn't really get a chance to see it. I probably should stop betting on him, but with Kansas coming up soon, where he's won twice before, I'm likely going to be betting on him again.
Switch says Trevor actually did admit to blocking late. Okay. Come on now.
I didn't hear that because they interviewed during the race as they were showing the replay.
Yeah.
And he said he dropped the link in the Discord, so I will have to check that out later because maybe he hadn't seen a replay at that point, thought that's what happened. I get it in the heat of the moment. Maybe you don't realize. I do that on iRacing. I'm like, you mother, and then I look and I'm like, maybe that was my fault.
Maybe I did turn.
Maybe I did pull up a little. Whatever.
Nah. Well, I want to see that interview because I mean, like I said, the eye test just said it. There was no lock on his bumper, which of course is why Jeb Burton. Look, top 3 was ambitious, and we said it was ambitious, right? It's 6-1. It's definitely not a bet that you make that you expect to cash, but God damn, Jeff was up in the top 5, 6 at points, right? Depending on who was pushing who and who was around him. Unfortunately, he just got collected, and his bid for a top 3 was over by, I don't know, what, 20 to go, something like that.
Weird wreck too, where he just completely lost it. It was, and then he almost saved, and then he just, but he didn't really damage himself too bad. He ends up getting a decent finish still. I mean, holds on for 11th. I thought for sure. I was surprised NASCAR didn't throw that caution as that car was spinning as they were coming to the white flag, especially when they're so close to taking the flag. I yelled, caution, caution, and they didn't. And I go, oh, shit, no caution. And then luckily that car obviously got out of the way. We didn't have a Pocono incident, but because that would have sucked, especially with the finish we ended up getting. But yeah, this was a good bet. I mean, he was up there all day, still ends up in 11th. So, or where did he end up in? 12th.
I think it was 12th. Yeah, 12th.
Yeah. But hey,
which is impressive considering the fact that he was like he did spin out and the damage wasn't that bad, thankfully.
Yeah. I mean, and so, yeah, again, if you can finish 12th, you can finish 3rd on a super speedway. We saw how close it was. I had Riley Herbst, a bunch of bets on him. Obviously, they really never had a chance. I mean, top 5 and plus 400, and then the parlays, and we never really got a chance to even see it because he had issues right away. Stewart Haas Racing is just falling apart. Derek, if you're still in here, I think your buddy got out of there just in time because, good Lord, things are going to hell in a handbasket at SHR. There's rumors about selling multiple charters now, maybe switching to Chevrolet. Don't be surprised if Dale Earnhardt Jr. buys that team. I don't know what's going on. Like, just craziness over at SHR. And you have to imagine it was mistakes putting that car together with it having issues that quickly. Just rough. Nothing has gone great for SHR lately. Well, Briscoe got the pole, so I guess you give him that. But that doesn't really mean anything. So
yeah, I was about to say, how many laps is it going to be until he's not on the pole? I give it a third of a lap until he's not on the pole anymore. Derek says Brian said peace right at the right time.
Got out of there. I think he saw the writing on the wall and said, yeah, it's might be a good idea to move on. And it's just
indeed
to see it because they've been a powerhouse team in the past, but things are not going well over there right now. Hopefully they get it figured out and get back on track.
I hope they do too. All right. Well, I had Chandler Smith over Parker Kligerman And look, Parker Kligerman, to his credit, had a very good run there at the end. He did finish fourth, almost. I mean, who knows? Could have
probably
won that
only
race
because he didn't get help. Like
exactly.
Had there been cars right behind him that would have helped. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely frustrating for Kligerman. You could see it in his face. He was like,
Derek's,
"Ooh,
you better
Derek's
text
dropping."
me, Derek. I want to know off the record what's going on. I
Ooh.
know Derek has the inside info. Wait till
and
this HR silly season. I'm telling you, man, it's going to be big. I think at least 2 charters are for sale. I don't know. It's going to be
all the more
be
reason to listen to All Things Go and the betting preview show for sure. You got to get over there. If you're not already listening to Derek, first of all, what's wrong with you? But second of all, you need to be over there right now. All right. So yeah, I had Chandler Smith, but man, this was a battle that could have gone either way actually, because both of them were up around each other. Kligerman was falling back when the cars weren't following him. He was in the wrong line. Chandler Smith was actually one of the ones that got tagged by the one. Actually, it was the one that took the 16 out in that one wreck. But yeah, who knows? Because Chandler was charging. Chandler had the right drafting partners there toward the, I'd say, latter stages of that race. It would have been close. I don't know that it would have ended up in our favor ultimately, but I still feel like this was closer than it would have been. We didn't get a chance to see it ultimately shine out. Obviously, we know Chandler Smith finishes up in the 22nd position. And we never got to see the full effect of this because of Chandler Smith getting wrecked out.
Yeah, head-to-heads are just tough at super speedways. That's why we don't do a ton of them, especially because they're a toss-up for that reason exactly. Oh, heartbreaking, Rod. We were so close on this one. Ryan Sieg, top 5 plus 650. He ends up finishing in 6th place. Just so close. One spot out of top 4 and top 5 at plus 600 and plus 650. Man, we could have had a really, really good card if that one spot would have been flipped. Custer would have finished right behind him. Damn, we were so close, Rod. But hey, that's super speedway racing for you. So again, it was the right call. Sieg is a guy I will bet every single time we go to a super speedway, and this is why. He proved it yet again. Had the penalty early, has to do the pass through, all that. Involved in one of those wrecks. Doesn't matter. He's there at the end when you need him. Almost cashes the bets for us, and can't ask for much more than that.
And shout out to him, though, because, again, that day could have been a lot worse. He was, I don't think it was directly involved, but he definitely was indirectly involved.
Spun out in one of them. I don't know that he really got any damage, but still, when you see his car spinning and 3 of your other outrights are in the same wreck, it's like, no, please.
Yeah, it's not fun. All right, I had the winning car over 18.5. I already said that was just sort of a hedge. I mean, it was the plus money side of it. I mean, if you figure that Parker Kligerman could have ended up creeping up to win this one, that would have cashed that. Ryan Sieg, if he would have accidentally found himself in the right lane, Parker Retzlaff, Anthony Alfredo, like all of these guys were in the top 10. They all very well could have won this one. We talked about the fact that there was a ton of heavy hitters at the top of this, and of course, a heavy hitter won, right? Sheldon Creed right behind him. The number 11 car was in 3rd place, so and the 00 over there in 5th. But who knows? They could have all crashed out before the white flag dropped. And then you're talking about guys like Kligerman. You're talking about Sieg, Retzlaff, Alfredo, right? All those guys. Even Jeffrey Earnhardt for a second. My buddy was like, wait, who's Jay Earnhardt? What relation is he? And I was like, oh, it's Jeffrey. It's like, that's not, it's one of the Earnhardt family, but he's a little farther down the tree.
He's only a grandson to Dale. He's not too far, but Ty Tiger said Briscoe's Hauler does a TikTok, Instagram lives. They're super quiet and avoiding all questions involving SHR stuff, which actually Briscoe is probably the only guy that's safe over there. Multi-year extension. He's kind of their pin going forward. I think he's the one that would come back. I think for sure. Obviously Harvick is retiring and Barry's coming in. So I think if they go down to 2, it's going to be Barry and Briscoe because Priest is, hey, sorry, buddy, it just didn't work out. And Almirola obviously has already announced he was retiring after last season and came back because of the money Smithfield brought, and it sounds like they're leaving now. So, yeah, that's a whole other story for another day. But outrights, I had Justin Haley. I think Haley played this perfectly and waited till the end, and then he forgot that he was supposed to go at the end because he was never like up in the mix at all. He kind of hung back the whole day, and he hung back at the end too, so I don't really know what was going on there. He finished 10th, and then I don't know. I thought he was just trying to avoid things for a while and never really came up there at all. So I was pretty disappointed in that, unfortunately. Brandon Jones talked about it. He got caught up in a wreck, 20-1. Moffitt, 60-1. He was in that same wreck. And Sieg, 60-1, finishes in 6th place. Like, again, you can't ask much more out of a 60-1 to be in 6th place and be right there. We could have had one more caution as that car was spinning at the end there. And then that's when Creed and Allgaier get into each other. Number 11 was right there. We know how much he loves to wreck people. I mean, and they could have taken each other out. Sieg could have slipped through. Like, we could be talking completely different here. So, again, you find guys that put themselves in position. Haley did not do that. Jones and Moffitt got caught up in it. It's part of it. But Sieg was there. So, I don't – maybe the Haley one I would take off just because – but with his history, like, he should have done more. So, I don't know what the deal was there. If he's just checked out, ready to go to Rick Ware Racing, or what the hell's going on. But, the other ones I would probably easily take again. So, again, Super Speedway Racing, it's how it goes. You had one in the mix at the end. Really can't ask for much more than that.
Well, it's crazy because all of a sudden, Haley, we didn't hear much from him at all. And the next thing you know, it's like, oh, and then Haley's caught up in that. We're like, oh, the 10 car was even there. Okay. Well, hi, 10 car. You're right. You hung back a little too long. You put yourself in the fray and took yourself out of the race as a result. So, yeah, unfortunately, pretty bad for Haley, who was one of the favorites, right? He was one of the guys that was up there, especially to win this race because he had done it before. So,
it was Hill and then Allgaier, and then I think Haley was next at the 10-1 point. So didn't show up.
All right, I had John Hunter Nemechek. Did he even have a car left by the end of that race?
He got smashed pretty hard, but there were points. I mean, it was him and Hill up there for a while, and they were talking about the points battle, and these are the two guys going at it, and he was up there, and then he was wrong place, wrong time. I think he almost made it through a wreck and then got tagged in the back, and then his car was on fire and absolutely destroyed. So
listen, he almost, and the fact of the matter is that when he barely got tagged by the one, he was almost through it, and the one just had a left turn right into his right rear quarter panel, and that was it. And then of course, after that, you're in the fray, and then another wreck happens, and you are there.
80s Eric, the 20 got Yahoo'd.
Yahoo.
Yes, he did actually get Yahoo. That was a good one. Again, that's how it goes. He was running good throughout the night, though. So I think at the number you got him at, being the most recent Speedway winner, and coming off the baby bump too. They had a baby this week, so you always get that storyline in there. Didn't work out for him, unfortunately.
Yeah, you were like, hey, do you get the baby bump as well? I was like, yeah. So, all right. Well, that is it. That was an exciting race. Obviously, we could probably go on for another hour and a half of this, and you know what? It would be a fun time. But we've got other stuff to get to too. We've got a DFS lineup to build. I don't think we've ever done a DFS lineup live, have we?
No, never done it live. I don't think we've done one yet where it's been post-qualifying either, and just happens to work out this week. Obviously, you're on location. Things didn't work out for us to record Thursday, which is when we usually record DFS, release on Friday. Ended up getting to be later, and then we're like, well, if the internet connection is good enough for you and we can be live, why not? And it's Daytona, so it's the most fun place to build lineups because shit, you just, whatever, however you want to do it. And so I'm excited to look through and talk about it. And again, there is no wrong way to build your lineups. You can stack the front, you can stack the back. The main lineup that I'm playing tomorrow, Rod, I'm leaving $12,400 on the table. So I'm chasing a lot of place differential. I've got many lineups, but it's starting to look like my underdog app. But yeah, it's there's no bad ways to do it, really. You go any strategy, any way you want to do it. Look around the room, and the first 6 numbers you see, play those. Ask your wife, ask your kid for some numbers. Draw out of the hat, whatever works. But still, much like the bets, we can find some good angles and build some fun lineups here as well.
Indeed, we can. Listen, if Parker Retzlaff, Anthony Alfredo, and Gary Galding can all turn top 10 finishes in the Xfinity race, that tells you that anything is possible all you need. On a super speedway.
That is the perfect example. And you go back to BJ McLeod finishing top 10 the last 2 years. Landon Castle finished 4th in this race last year. There is plenty of everyone is on the table. maybe avoid Larson and Truex. But hey, they could even end up being optimal. You never know.
All right. Well, we will build some of those lineups for you. But let me tell you right now, I know the NFL season is literally upon us, right? The preseason is already starting, and we are getting close to the regular season. Another one of the shows on this network that you should be checking out with any sort of regularity is the NFL Gambling Podcast. Every single week, every single day, there will be an episode for you tailored to breaking down last week and looking ahead, not just a week ahead, but even 2 weeks ahead to the lines that you'll want to bet, early looks at those. Of course, we've got the Thursday night lineups that you've got, the Thursday night slates that you can start betting on. And then, of course, if there's Saturday football, if there's Sunday football, the NFL Gambling Podcast has you absolutely covered all season long for every slate of football that there is for you to bet on. It is a must go to when you download your podcast because it will help you win money during the NFL season. As we know, it's not necessarily always that easy to keep up with all 32 teams, but the NFL Gambling Podcast has you covered on that aspect. And of course, so does the NFL Propcast. The Propcast will give you player props from those Thursday night games, those Sunday games, those Sunday night games, even, and the Monday night games. If you ever want to bet player props, the NFL Propcast is the way to get that done. As you always do with every single show on this network, you can find it on Spotify or anywhere where you get your favorite podcasts. And of course, always on sportsgamblingpodcast.com. I threw that one in there, Cody. I made that up all by myself.
That was beautiful. I loved it.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely check out the NFL Gambling Podcast, especially the episodes that Rod's on.
Oh, am I on the show?
I don't know. Are you?
Yeah, I am. There's so many of them that I'm on anymore.
It's hard to keep track sometimes, but pretty sure I hear you on there often. So,
you know, my camera, my poor little, it just whirls anymore. It just sort of, I hear the tongue wagging. It's like every time I get off it, it's like, are you going to leave me alone soon? I'm like, no, you got to keep working.
I love it.
All right,
well, Rod.
How are we going to build these DFS lineups for you guys?
I was going to ask you, how are we going to do it? If you if you have a driver you want us to talk about, drop it in the comments.
Please.
We'll make a case for or against, or possibly both for them. And I don't know what. Let's see.
Okay, here's what I'm going to do. Okay, it is now on my time. It is 8:45. So what I will do is I will take both the 8 and the 45, and I'll start talking about those. You know why? It's pretty easy to do. The 45 has the poll. Oh, no, he doesn't. 14 has the poll. No. But the 45.
Reddick, you starting 20th?
Ooh, I'll take Reddick.
You get some. All right, we're going to plug Reddick in here first. That's some decent. That's decent place differentials. He's really up and down on super speedways.
Yes,
1.4 at Atlanta here most recently. But he can get it done. Again, I have a feeling I built a lineup that I shared in the let's see if I can find it. I shared it in the Discord. This was before qualifying was even set, and it includes Reddick, Wallace, and Hamlin, because I think that those three guys are going to lock bumpers early in this race and not leave each other's side. I tossed Blaney here because he's Bubba's best friend. If he can help, he's going to help as well. And then I just tossed in Eric Jones and Riley Herbst because I like both those guys this weekend too. But you build some narrative lineups. Like, don't be afraid to do it. What was the other car you said? 8, right? Busch.
8.
He starts
Busch,
18th.
Yeah. So that's funny. 8 and 45, right? Those are the two that swap sides.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they did exactly. He's not a bad play at all either. He's 9,600, starts in 18th. He won Talladega earlier this year. He was supposed to win the Daytona 500 and cash a big ticket for us at the end of regulation. Got wrecked in overtime, but he was there. He won Talladega, right? Yeah, and so he's been doing good. It's 10:47 here, Rod. So Eric Almirola, he's starting second. That's really tough. Now, we did pick him to win as an outright. So you can still play a guy who starts second. It's not good on your stomach because he starts second and he could finish 39th, right? There's 39 cars in this race, and that's a lot of negative points. But if he runs around the front all day, he's the type of guy who could be out front, lead some laps. And as long as he gets a good finish, he is playable. So you can play Eric Almirola. We're going to toss him in there. And then 47 would, of course, be Ricky Stenhouse Jr. He won the most recent race at Daytona, the 500. He starts 32nd. So again, the farther back they start, the less downside there is. Obviously, to be optimal, you're going to need him to get a good finish. We know that Ricky can do it. It's hit or miss for him, but we're swinging for the fences. JDK says Alex Bowman. He checks in at 7,600. He starts 31st. A guy that needs to win. William Byron has already been vocal about he's going to help his teammates win this race, if that's the case. Obviously referring to the number 48 of Bowman and to Chase Elliott. He's the other Hendrick guy I was trying to get to there. So if Bowman's gonna get help, if it's around, right? The Hendrick guys are gonna help him out. They're gonna work together with him. So he's a guy I like. And yeah, 80s Eric said Denny said he's gonna push Bubba, not Ty. So I guess Denny will be driving for 2311 next year. I don't know about that, but he owns the car, right? Of course he's gonna do it. You go back to Dale Earnhardt in the 2001 Daytona 500, of course, obviously going into that race, he wanted to make sure his three cars were up front. And who finished 1, 2, 3 in that race? Of course, unfortunately, he didn't get to see it as he lost his life, but he arranged all of that and he wanted them to work together. And he was when he got wrecked, he was blocking to make sure they stayed up front. He could see his cars driving away with it. Like that's what you do as an owner. It's an awkward position, obviously. And if I don't know why, there's no reason. Actually, there's no way he helps Ty, because even if Bubba's taken out of the race, he's not going to help Ty because Bubba might still have a chance. So yeah, that's how it goes. But you got to pick one, and then he's picked his.
Yeah. Oh, and that's the truth too. But to your point about Stenhouse too, what was it? His crew chief today was being interviewed, and they were like, "Hey, Ricky said that we're going to go out. We're going to just try to win this race. That's our goal. It's not."
Yeah, I think that was it Doherty, wasn't it? The owner.
Yeah. Doherty. That's right. It was the owner. Yeah.
Yeah. And they got, and Brad has said before, sometimes he'll tell Ricky, "Bring me back the trophy, bring me back the steering wheel, like one or the other, and go for it." And they have nothing to lose. Like he can just go for another win. It's 5 extra playoff points if he wins the race. Like for where he's at in the points, I don't think getting a few points by finishing decent really matters. So he's going to be going for it. And again, that's an optimal position in the lineup if he does go for it. 80s Eric 2 says Denny's doing what he would do. And I mean, yeah, he owns the car. He gets paid off of it. He loves Ty Gibbs. Obviously, Joe's been very good to him, and I'm sure he's watched Ty grow up in the shop. But, business is business. Let's see, Rod. We need one more here. We got 9,400 left in this lineup. You got Keselowski at 9,300. He starts 12th. He could get a good finish. JDK says Eric Jones, 6,700. Starts 24th. I love some Eric Jones this week. He's always at the end of these super speedway races, it seems like. 6,700. That leaves 2,700 on the table, Rod. What do you think?
You know what? 2,700 on the table? That's not going to get you anywhere.
Yes, it is. Oh, you got to leave money on the table. I'm telling you.
2,700. I was going to say there's no. Oh, okay. That's.
So you're leaving it all. Yeah, you got 27. Yeah, you got
extra
room
for
to
sure.
play with. All right. So first lineup: Eric Almirola, Alex Bowman, Kyle Busch, Eric Jones, Tyler Reddick, Ricky Stenhouse. Got a good mixture here. One guy that starts up front, and Almirola. So you're going to need him to stay up there, or your lineup's probably going to be shot. But Bowman's 31st, Busch is 18th, Eric Jones 24th. Reddick 20th, Stenhouse 32nd. I think that's a good first lineup, Rod.
I think so. Let's do this for the second one then. Okay. My birthday is 3/15, so let's go there. 3 and 15. Austin Dillon. And then whoever is driving the 15 car, which is Brandon Poole.
Dillon is 21st. He's won this race last year, cashed a 30-1 ticket for us. He's won the Daytona 500 before. We know he can do it. So love that. Brennan Poole starts 34th. I mean, what he's going to be. The thing with, and this is why BJ McLeod has finished in the top 10 the last couple of years, he's not in a good car at all. It's slow, and it doesn't hang with the main pack, which means when the main pack wrecks and wrecks and wrecks and wrecks and wrecks and wrecks and like, it wipes all the cars in front of him out, and he's there at the end, and he gets lucky dogs to get laps back, and that's how it works out. Same thing for Brennan Poole. So yeah, I think that he's a great play at 4,900. He's cheap, but not that pricing almost doesn't even matter this week because most of the time, I don't think you're going to go over the price anyways. But starting 34th, very low downside. He's not going to get you many negative points.
I'll say this for Brendan Poole, right? If you look back at his history here on this track, he has had fantastic DFS days in the 15 car. In 2020, he started in 34th rather, finished in 16th. In 2020 in the fall, started 32nd, finished 15th. So in the 15 car, I absolutely love that for fantasy.
Yes, agreed. And Yoder said Herbst may have a low-key rocket. I think he does. It's prepped by SHR, which we just got done talking crap about them. But their cars are fast in qualifying, look good. I love Herbst. Gave him out 100-1 on the betting show earlier this week. Go back and listen to that if you haven't yet.
Throw him in there.
But yeah, all right, we'll toss him in. And he's a great DFS play because he starts. Oh, no, he's
sixth.
Sixth. I don't know. He might not be a great DFS
5,300.
play, actually. Sixth is rough to play in DFS. Oh, I don't know, Rod. He
has a top 10 finish already, so
has to get a good finish for us, though.
His 5,300, Derek. That's his DFS price.
Yeah, 50. Yeah, he's very, very cheap. And he's going to be very low rostered. So again, GPPs, if you're going for it, people are going to look at it and be like, "Well, he starts." Anybody who knows that you have to kind of stack the back or play more place differential, they're going to be like, sixth place, like I just did. And Derek says, "Never mind, I stick to betting it." Trying to win money here, Derek. So again, this is just throwing some random stuff out. All right, let's see. You did birthday. I'll do birthday. Mine's also starts with 3, so Austin Dillon's already in there. But mine's on the 17th, St. Patrick's Day. That would be Mr. Christopher Buescher, who starts 11th.
That's an easy one. Yep.
Oh, boy, we're getting a 6th place and an 11th place guy. But the thing with that is not a lot of people are going to have that type of build. And if they survive the chaos and get good finishes, they can still pay off for you. So I would say probably not more than 2 guys that start that high, but that is 2 guys. 80s Eric says Riley's coming for vengeance tomorrow. He's going to be pissed off because things have not been going well for him in the Xfinity Series the last couple of weeks. So let's see, Rod.
What does that leave us with for the last spot?
Well, we've got 2 spots left, actually.
Oh, we got 2 spots. All right. You want to put the 3 and the 3 of our months together and add it into 6 and do Brad Keselowski?
Yeah, but he starts 12.
I know he starts 12. That's the tough part.
Yeah, I would say no, because I don't know if you want to have a guy who starts 6th, 11th, and 12th. I think you're really pushing it there. Wait,
Cody. Here's what we're looking. Here's what we're overlooking. Corey LaJoy at 6,200.
Exactly where I was about to go. He is a lock in every single lineup I enter. Okay, don't play anybody in every single lineup because if he wrecks, no downside. I mean, he starts 37th. He's not going to lose you points. But if he wrecks, he's not going to get you points either. So be careful of that. But I'm going to have some Corey LaJoy, Rod. 6,200. He starts 37th. That leaves us $17,000. So we've got anybody on the board.
How about Austin Hill?
Austin Hill. He's
way down there at
5,500.
Yep.
Okay.
Starting 26th.
Hasn't been as great as the Xfinity Series, but we know what he's capable of. Didn't get a good finish. So yeah, this will leave you 11,600 on the table. Love it. I'm telling you, this is how you're going to build your lineups. Like you got to leave money on the table. So 11,600. It's Christopher Buescher, Austin Dillon, Riley Herbst, Austin Hill, Corey LaJoy, Brennan Poole. Yeah, it's that's the second lineup for you there. All right,
should we do one more?
Let's do. I want to enter. Actually,
do you want to do betting favorites? What do you want to do?
Yeah, we could do that. All
right, take some of the betting favorites, like the top 3 betting favorites, and then the bottom 3 betting favorites, because I don't think they're all. Because if you look at Chase Elliott, he's starting way deep in the back. So
okay, Elliott, I will warn you, Elliott's going to be a popular play tomorrow because he's not starting.
Of course,
well. Obviously he gets the popularity bump. Okay, so Elliott,
but of course in a cash game, if he hits, you have to have him.
Right. Yeah. So you got Elliott who starts 23rd, 10,500. Got Keselowski, 9,300. He's starting 12th. And Joseph Logano, he is 9,800 and starting 14th. Then if we're going to go scroll to the bottom, Mr. Brennan Poole, who we already talked about. BJ McLeod, which he's finished
We
twice.
don't have him in there yet.
Finished top 10 in the last two spring or fall Daytona races, so that's an obvious one. And Ty Dillon, I don't feel good about that, but
I was going to say, does that make you feel good?
It does not make me feel good. There he is.
We could pick somebody else. We don't have to pick Ty Dillon.
I mean, but he can do it. Like Landon Castle finished 4th in this car last year, Rod, and that's the thing. And Dillon is actually good at super speedways. Hey, this car is just what scares me because it doesn't get to it has mechanical issues, and that's what happened to him in the 500. He blew a motor super early in the race, didn't even have a chance. But let's play it anyways because I like the strategy build here. 80s Eric, what's up with McDowell starting in the back? Didn't see qualifying. I only caught the end of qualifying, so I'm not sure if he just had a bad lap nothing about qualifying makes me change my mind on anything other than DFS.
Justin
DFS
Allgaier's
is
a great example.
Perfect example. Yeah. As far as betting wise, if you're going to bet on him before, don't let whatever happened to make him start in the back change your mind. It doesn't. If you were going to bet on him to win, still bet on him to win. Maybe his odds went up a little because he's starting so far back, but it literally makes no difference. If somebody's doing a pass through, it doesn't matter. If somebody spins out on lap 1 and they end up 3 laps down and they have no damage, go live bet them if their number gets crazy. They will find their way back. It's stuff like that does not concern me any way, shape, or form. If they were slow in qualifying, doesn't matter. Once you get in the draft, it's completely different. So this lineup, Rod, leaves 5,800 on the table. Tyler Dillon, I don't know if that's his name or not, but I like it. Chase Elliott, or Clyde, actually, I think is his name. Actually, it might be William. I don't know. One of those things. Elliott, Bradley Keselowski, Joseph Logano, BJ McLeod, and Brennan Poole. And yeah, he leaves 5,800 on the table. So there we go.
I mean, that's how we do it, right? I mean, and I don't have a dartboard here, and I couldn't bring the wheel back, guys. I'm sorry. I'm not in my home studio. Unfortunately, could not bring the wheel back. I'm so sad because I feel like we should have brought the wheel, but I think we did a good job anyways of finding numbers hidden around us. So. Yeah.
All right. One last thing. I'm going to look around the room, and as numbers catch my eye, I'm going to do things. So I'm going to look right here. I got a Tony Stewart bobblehead. So that's number 20.
Okay. I got one right here. I got. Right. Oh, you got Christopher Bell. Go ahead.
Yep. So Christopher Bell, he's 8,100, starts 15th.
All right. I've got, I have the sheet. I had the 14, so I don't like that one. How about the 22? We already talked about Logano. Damn. 12. How about the 12?
Okay.
Brian
Blaney. I picked him to win. He starts 8th. That's not the most ideal, but he could do good. There's also a Rusty Wallace bobblehead sitting right here. Austin Cindric, number 2. Let's see. Oops, if I could spell. Cindric starts 16th. Not bad. Won the Daytona 500 before. We know he can do it. By the way, he's the one Penske car not in the playoffs. Which team is better than any other team at working together, at being at the front near the end? If Blaney and Logano get a chance, they will be pushing Austin Cindric to the win. I don't hate. Okay, so you said Logano just a second ago, didn't you? But you said we already talked about him. Let's put him in here because then you're stacking all 3 Penske drivers, Blaney, Cindric, Logano. If they can lock bumpers and help Cindric, they're going to do it. Logano starts 14th, so I think that's a good call as well. Give me another random one, Rod.
I'm looking at 23. Is Bubba Wallace a good play, even though he starts in 4th?
Oh, boy. 4th is tough. I mean, he's going to be up front a lot. He's really good at leading laps on super speedways, so that will add up. Although that's not always the most key thing, obviously. Boy. And we've already got a guy who starts 8th. We got a guy who starts. Let's do it. This lineup will just be a little different. It's going to plan for less chaos and more super speedway drivers because you got the 3 Penske guys, all super speedway aces. You got Bubba, who's an ace, and Blaney will work with Bubba if he gets the chance to as well. And you're throwing Bell in there. He can be a bit of a wild card, but he can be decent on super speedways. All right, let's see. Looking.
And I will say, too, that Bubba is obviously one of the guys that everybody wants to win. So if he wins, that's even better for you in the long run. Yeah. So, Moonoff jumping in the chat. How many other NASCAR pods are giving out winners on a Friday night? Boy, the hate for the Cowboys just permeates the SGPN.
Trey Lance, he's going to take the Cowboys to the Super Bowl.
Oh my God, shut your mouth. I cannot believe that news, but that's time for another one.
Yeah, boy, I have to get your take on that as a 49ers fan later.
Yeah.
But,
80s Eric says, didn't Big E flip a car at Talladega, threw some duct tape on it and finished the I'm telling you, that's the
there's
way
a
it is
good
for the super
chance.
speedway.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Duct tape is the king over there.
Okay, Rod,
right.
we are down to, we have just $6,000 left in this lineup. So that leaves us with a little bit of a limited line here. So there is a Corey LaJoie picture. Oh, wait, he's too expensive. Never mind. He's 6,200. Let's see. Let's just
Chandler
pick one of
Smith?
these guys. Okay. He starts
Running
36th.
36th.
Yeah. So you get your stack the front guys kind of in a way, right? You get a lot of guys that are, you got 4 super speedway guys in this lineup. And you throw in Bell as a wild card. He's not going to be highly rostered. He starts 15th, but if he gets a good finish, and then you throw in Chandler Smith in there, bring up some place differential from the back, ends up with a decent finish. This is a good lineup. Only leaves 600 on the table, which is actually not very much for building a super speedway. Obviously, on a week-to-week basis, like, you don't even want to leave 600. You want to use all that money. But here, you can leave it, play anyone. Yeah, I think we did a pretty good job here, Rod.
And I guarantee you that Chandler Smith is going to be, I mean, this is a great GPP play because nobody's going to be on Chandler Smith. Everybody's going to look at that and just
Some
go,
people probably will be because he starts towards the back. You're going to get your stack the back people.
But I mean, even those guys, like, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I'll be honest, I overlook them kind of at the beginning too because there are so many options back there of bigger names because you've got guys like McDowell starting way towards the back. Oops, what did I just do there? I don't know what I'm doing. You've got, let's see, who else was starting towards the back? BJ McLeod obviously has the 2 top 10s recently. Here,
even Gilliland, right?
Gilliland is 35th. LaJoie's 37th. Even a guy like Barry's 29th will probably bring a little more eyeballs to him. McDowell's 39th, so probably everybody and their brother is going to play McDowell. So if you want to be different, don't play McDowell. So yeah, I think there's going to be, he's probably a good enough different option. Chandler was up front tonight. Yeah, 80s Eric. We talked about that in the recap a little bit earlier on the Xfinity part. He was running up there until he got caught up in it. So yeah, it's and he's a colleague guy and they're good at super speedways and Allmendinger's good, and if he can be pushing Allmendinger to a win, he'll do it too to help him out. So yeah, I like it.
I agree. That's okay. Do you have all of those lineups in front of you? Because I did not write them down. Unfortunately, there is no pen and paper.
I entered all of them into contests, Rod, because I'm not going to give out a lineup like that and not have it entered into a contest. So,
that is a fantastic. Well, you'll have to send them to me so I can also enter them into contests. Okay. But if you have the ability,
let's see,
read them back to everybody so they can also start getting their pen and paper. Now, I know that folks love to pause it so that they can get it all down and then keep writing. So if you are so inclined, and if you are in a place where you can, when you're listening to this later, pause it when you're ready and start writing stuff down. So Cody, do you have them ready for us?
All right, lineup number 1, and these might not be in order, but this is the order they're on my screen. So Eric Almirola, Alex Bowman, Kyle Busch, Eric Jones, Tyler Reddick, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Chris Buescher. Okay, new lineup. Sorry, apologize. Chris Buescher, Austin Dillon, Riley Herbst, Austin Hill, Corey LaJoie, and Brennan Poole. Another new lineup. Oh boy, I'm getting confused now. Ty Dillon. Did we do? Yeah, I don't know if we gave this out or if this one I entered earlier. Who knows? Ty Dillon, Chase Elliott, Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano, BJ McLeod, Brennan Poole. Oh yeah, that was the favorite.
That was ours.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
One more should be.
Yep, which is this one. Christopher Bell, Ryan Blaney, Austin Cindric, Joey Logano, Chandler Smith, and Bubba Wallace.
There it is. I love it. See, look at you, did better than you thought you would do.
Hey, I've entered a lot of lineups already, Rob.
Who else?
I've been building lineups all night.
That's what I'm saying. Who else is building live lineups with you guys? It's just, I'm telling you right now, we are having so much fun with this and so much fun with you guys being able to build these live lineups. So yeah, what a better way to spend a Friday night than to hang out with you guys building live lineups for DFS for this Coke Zero Sugar 400 from Daytona. Cody, man, all we have left to do now is watch the race tomorrow night.
That's right. Yeah, Saturday night for the Cup Series race. If you're listening to this, don't forget. Don't wait till Sunday to put in those lineups. You'll be too late. Don't miss the race. Get those bets in as well. I'm excited. It's going to be tonight on steroids, Rod. It's going to be beefed up. It's going to be chaotic. It's going to be great. I can't wait. I'm excited to go watch it. Excited to win some more money.
And I'm so glad that we were able to do this live for you guys, so you didn't have to wait for it. Those of you who are such loyal listeners that you're here on a Friday night hanging out with us on YouTube. And even for those of you who are downloading it now before, of course, the race happens, honestly, it's so cool to be able to do this with you live on a Friday night and to have this happen. Again, this was just sort of the way it shook out this season. So for those of you who are listening, you guys got a free sneak peek at it. And of course, those of you listening in the morning as it goes, definitely happy about that. John Little says, what a great race. Yes. Buddy. Go back and listen to this.
Yeah. If you didn't catch the beginning, go back. We talked about the Xfinity Series race. What a freaking race. It was absolutely great. Cashed a few bets too along the way. So that was good as well.
Indeed. All right, Cody. Well, we will wrap things up for this episode, but of course, don't go anywhere as far as we've got stuff coming for you all next week too, as the seasons begin to wind down into the playoffs. So many things still left to play.
80s Eric's got the script already. He said BJ McLeod wins tomorrow. So,
well, then you better put it heavy on that. And then, of course, the DFS day for BJ McLeod too. $4,700 for BJ. He's starting 38th. There's nowhere to go but up.
Yeah. Derek from Undead Gaming says Ross is going to cash in Daytona.
Okay.
Ross has burned me a lot lately, so no bets on him, but maybe he gets it figured out. We know he's good at super speedways. So, again, everybody's open. So for Kyle Larson and Martin Truex Jr.
Yes.
But, you know. All right, Rod. Yeah, and hey, we're not done, actually. As we get off of this, we're going to go record the F1 Gambling Podcast for the IndyCar picks. They waited for fucking ever to give us lines this week, but we've got them. So, yeah, when you're done listening to this, check out the F1 Gambling Podcast because that'll be over there. And we've got F1 already from earlier in the week, IndyCar now. So, full week. We got a lot more races to go this weekend, Rod. I'm excited. Go listen to the Truck Series race or show as well. We got the picks out for that. That's not till Sunday. So, you'll have something to watch Sunday as well. And follow me on X at Husker_Zeeb. Find all my work over there. It's a lot of stuff. So, check it.
It is a lot of stuff. So definitely looking forward to that as well. I'm on X. Yeah, I brought that back. At RJ Villagomez, link in the bio, everything I got going on, whether it is here, whether it is in between media. Check out the back road. Seth and Elliot hung out with you on Thursday, breaking down Daytona. Had a great time doing that. And yeah, man, just have fun checking out all the stuff in my bio. The link is there in my Twitter account. So we'll be back with our recap show next week. And of course, a full slate of NASCAR Gambling Podcast after that. So we're glad that you hung out with us on a Friday night. It's Corey LaJoy on Saturday.
Don't forget to place your Corey LaJoy bets for tomorrow.
Yeah, if you don't load up on Corey LaJoy, then Cody goes to sleep sad. So, all right. We'll see you next week, everybody. Until then, enjoy the weekend of racing. Let's go racing and let it ride.